Hey guys, this is Amal from TechLeatherCraft. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some DIY fridge magnets using leather and some magnets I picked up from Amazon. It's a fun project if you're looking for something to do while you're stuck at home. It's a good project also to do with kids because it's a really simple. I'm going to be doing a project where it avoids glue. In the video, you'll see a sample that I did with my kids also. There are Amazon links in the description for all the tools and materials that I used for this project. Be sure to go check them out. Now, a quick little pause here. I did actually make this clean and dirty sign. It's made for the dishwasher. The point of it is to kind of identify where the dishes in the dishwasher are clean or dirty with the kids and spouse at home. It's kind of important that I don't pick out dirty dishes thinking that it's clean in the dishwasher. So I did actually make this alongside of making these magnets. I did cut that part out. If you guys are interested, post in the comments. I can always make a video with that specifically. It is a little bit more complex to make. I thought I would stick with these simple magnets. Now the magnets I picked up from Amazon, they're just a generic brand. The ones I picked up come with a little 3M adhesive. It makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to mess around with gluing stuff together. The ones I chose were a little bit stronger compared to some of the other ones that are available on Amazon. They might have been a little too strong. You do want to be aware when you're working with these magnets to keep them spaced apart. They do attract really quickly to each other and they push each other away. So if you're not careful, what will end up happening if they slam together too fast is they will end up cracking. And that did happen. You can of course pull that out and put new magnets on, but keep them spaced apart. Ideally, you want to keep them about a foot apart. For the video, I had to have them close because I was trying to get them into the camera angle. But just be aware, keeping them at least 12 inches apart, probably the best option so they don't come together and snap. This is less of an issue when they're on the fridge, by the way. So I did pick up this rubber gasket set. It's supposed to cut out round circles and it works really great for leather. The larger size is a 1.34 and they even get smaller than that. I'll post links to this. It does come with a handle. You kind of screw on the cutout. I used the larger circle and I used the arbor press. If you're using the hand tool or the arbor press, the best way, especially with the larger circle, is to kind of tilt it at an angle on one side, let it cut, and then hammer down and tilt in the other direction. And so it kind of cuts out one half the circle and then the other half. To remove the circle, you just use your pinky or you can use the end of a pencil to push it out. I have a bunch of stamps that I've picked up from Tandy. This is just a collection of them. And I was just kind of seeing what size stamps would work best. Some of the stamps may be too large for the circle, but you just kind of want to play around with it and see what options you have. And with your kids, to color this, if you don't have stamps, you can always just use some Sharpies or markers to color this and still make a really cool magnet. I used a cross stamp. You have to kind of figure out centering and how to center that and kind of look to see where the edges of the stamp meet up. And that's the finished stamp right there. Now with the gear stamp, I ended up doing kind of a layering effect. It's just kind of one on each side. You can always do some cool layering effects, especially with like the flower stamp, that kind of stuff. Here are the stamps my daughter made using a marker. One thing you do want to test out is a bleed through. If you're using a marker, just check to see on a scrap piece of leather how much bleed through, like how much of it spreads across. So if you're making really tight lines, be aware of that. But it's a really cool project to do with your kids. If you don't have any stamps, you do want to apply a layer of clear coat so that it seals the marker and the die. Once I have the clear coat on, I'm going to be burnishing the edges just to smooth it out a little bit. And once you have the 3M adhesive applied to the magnet, you can then apply the magnet part. This is where the 3M adhesive is really nice because you don't have to mess around with gluing these on. They hold on really well. I did end up having to remove these on the magnets that I cracked earlier. They really have a good grip when they're attached. So here's a small sample of the finished magnets. My daughter did take one of them. And when you do have them all attached and you're laying them out, be sure to keep them spaced apart because you see in the video that they do still fly together. When they're on the fridge, this is not an issue. You can see that the magnet kind of pushed the other magnet away. The best way to separate the magnets, if they do come close together, is to kind of slide them sideways and not pull them straight out. If you're transporting them to the fridge or if you're storing them, I do recommend separating them with a piece of leather. Once they're on the fridge, it's not an issue. One thing you may want to be aware of is polarity. Try to get all the magnets placed in a way where they don't attract each other. When you're placing the magnets, you want to try to keep the polarity poles the same direction. All the tools I use for this project will be in the description below. If you're interested in tech, leathercraft, EDC, and multi-tool stuff, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll have more DIY projects coming up pretty soon. If you're interested in that clean and dirty magnetic sign for the dishwasher, post in the comments. I'll post a video on that. Thanks for watching. Take care.